and I were just saying that, oh, thank you. We'll record it. Bethany and I were just saying that it feels like we're finally showing everyone a baby we've like kept in hiding or something. So this is what we've been working on. We're so excited to share it all with you. It is truly designed for everyone who's here. So we really love that you're here. We would love any feedback. And with that, we'll go ahead.
Perfect. So hi, everyone. We're going to start with introductions first very quickly. I'm Bethany Corbin. I know some of you in this room, but for those who I don't know, I am an attorney by background. I am one of the first femtech attorneys. I also run a law firm, the first in the US, that's dedicated to exclusively serving women's health innovators. So working with women's health founders and trying to bridge gaps that we see in healthcare every day is my mission, my goal, and what I do for a living. So I am the co-founder and CEO of FemInnovation alongside Kate. And we've really worked together to bring this product to life from two different vantage points, Kate with her clinical background and me with my legal and business background. And Kate also has an MBA, so has a business background as well. I've included my contact info and LinkedIn info up at the top. Would love to connect with anyone who wants to reach out during or after this event. And Kate, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I feel incredibly to have met Bethany. We met and immediately wanted to build something together with our different backgrounds, as she said. So that's been wonderful. As far as my background, I'm an OBGYN. I finished residency, stayed in academics for a little while, and then most recently was at a federally qualified health center as the director of women's health in Oklahoma. Right now I'm working as a laborist, which gives me time to really explore this whole realm of femtech. So from my background in clinical work, I am very, very aware of how, unfortunately, disparate the care that we provide to women in this country is, and really want to use femtech to do something on a larger scale about that. I also realize that technology can both hurt and hinder health equity. And so I'm very passionate about making sure that at FemInnovation, we use our femtech to increase equity. And then in my spare time, I do hang out with my wife and our 5 kids and 2 dogs. So life is busy, but I love it.
Great. And now that Kate and I have introduced ourselves, I do want to take a moment just to thank our sponsor. Witham is one of our premier sponsors. They've helped us to fund this platform and to really make it so that we're able to keep our costs as low as possible to founders and clinicians. So just a huge shout out to Witham. They are leading on the tax and the accounting fronts whenever it comes to women's healthcare. And they have a femtech team and a women's healthcare team, along with telemedicine, all different types of healthcare advisory services. So if you're in need of any of those services, highly recommend reaching out to them, and just a huge thanks to them. Kate, we can go to the next slide.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to fill you in a little bit about us, with Bethany kicking us off.
Sure. So really how FemInnovation started was I was actually working as an attorney at the time, and I worked with some female founded startups. And what I kept seeing was these startups didn't have access to the resources that they needed in order to build and grow their companies sustainably and from an early stage. So it was very interesting. In a couple of companies I was working for, we would actually repeatedly turn femtech clients and other types of health tech clients away because they didn't have enough money to be able to afford legal services. They'd come back a year or two later and they say, great, we have enough money, we're ready to go. And we'd say, that's cool, but here's 10 things you did wrong in the interim. And now it's going to cost you more in order to be able to fix those items and to grow and scale from there. And so that really got me thinking about the lack of resources that we have for women's health founders, and the gap as well that we have between tech founders and clinicians. And so given the fact that 90% of startups fail, Kate and I are really passionate about trying to change that number and not only give startups a chance to grow and scale and exit, but also connect them with the partners that they need to do so, so that we're able to drive meaningful clinical change instead of putting tech products on the market where there's huge gaps and we're not going to be able to use them from a clinical perspective.
So what we have created is a trusted innovation hub where we're bringing together disruptive thought leaders where they can get the support they need to revolutionize women's health and increase equity. We have actionable step-by-step startup guidance, foundational partnerships with clinicians and healthcare organizations, educational programming, and consulting services. And through all of that, we're helping innovators build the women's health ecosystem of the future, even if you don't know where to start. Our vision is to promote sustained growth and investment in the femtech industry and to help all women, including those who identify as female and those who have been disenfranchised, reclaim their right to care that is patient-centered, equitable, and evidence-based. And again, you'll hear us come back to that over and over again: patient-centered, equitable, and evidence-based. Bethany, you're on mute.
Of course I am. I'm always on mute. And that's probably where people wish they could put me most of the time. No. So I'm very excited, to kind of talk about some of the driving factors that led us to where we are and why we started FemInnovation. So we've known for some of the data that's out there that there's about 84% of femtech companies generating less than 10 million in revenue. So we're not having a ton of femtech companies growing and scaling at the rate that we need to drive attention and more money and dollars into this field. So one of our goals is to help get those companies past that $10 million mark, get them the partnerships, the resources, and as Kate calls it, the matchmaking that they need to continue to push forward. And so we can have those higher exits, there's more, more unicorns, more IPOs, and really show VCs why they need to be investing in this space. A lot of us already know that the investment dollars are very slim when it comes to women's health. About 2.3% of healthcare funding goes to women. And the tech industry itself actually has the highest startup business failure rate. 63% of tech startups fail. So 90% of all startups fail and 63% of tech startups. Those are not great statistics, especially when we're looking at women's healthcare and women's digital health. And because a lot of these companies are founded by women, we know there's a huge disparity between the venture capitalists who are funding these deals, most of whom have male partners, and the women who are leading a lot of these companies. And as a result, only 13% of VC dollars are going to startups that have a woman founder. And that's another huge aspect that Kate and I want to tackle, is by giving founders the resources that they need to get investment, to do these deals, to understand how they can frame these deals and negotiate those terms in a way that's going to be advantageous for them. And Kate, I'll turn it over to you for the clinician pain points.
Thank you. So in terms of pain points in women's health for clinicians, what we see is that 94% of clinicians are overwhelmed by the useless health tech data. I'm sure if you're a clinician, you've been there where the patient comes in and they think that they've had this great app, and you look at it and you're like, how do I use any of this data that this patient has painstakingly entered? We know that only 10% of providers routinely use patient home monitoring devices. When I look at LinkedIn, I think this is sometimes shocking because it's so common to see these kinds of startups on LinkedIn, but clinician uptake has been slow. And so right now, only about 10% are using patient home monitoring devices. 95% of free menstrual apps are inaccurate with no scientific grounding, and this has huge implications. One, it can put patients at danger. They're getting the wrong information. And two, it really erodes that patient-physician relationship. I know when patients have come in and told me, well, I read on this app that XYZ, when I have to go back and correct that knowledge, there's always that chance that the patient's going to wonder if the app is right or if I'm right. And so that's a big issue for clinicians and our patients. 85% of femtech apps failed clinical accuracy standards. That's another huge thing in the same vein. And clinicians, one of the things I believe is that we are at this inflection point, right? All of this is going to get implemented eventually. And so we get to either be part of the problem and that we didn't help correct these issues, or we can be part of the solution. And at FemInnovation, we want to make sure that we are part of the solution and that we step up to be able to fix these things.
I love that. And I'll start going ahead and talking about our FemInnovator community in a moment, but Kate has a quick poll because we want to make sure that we tailor the resources in our presentation to exactly who is here at our launch event. So if anyone is willing to just take a quick poll, it should have popped up about which one best describes you. That'll help us make sure that we're highlighting the right content that you want to see.
Thank you for participating. This is wonderful. And
It
it's
looks
really
like,
neat to see that
yeah.
we do have people from all different avenues of femtech.
We do. We have a large founder percentage, along with some clinicians, investors, patient advocates, couple vendors, health equity, and even none of the above. So this is fantastic. We'll be sure to cover resources that touch on all of these. But I'm going to start first, Kate, we can go to the next slide, really talking about the FemInnovator community and how this can be a huge resource. So our FemInnovator community, we look at this as really being the women's health ecosystem of the future. And what I mean by that is we know that there are a lot of other communities and organizations that are out there in femtech, more are popping up every day, but nobody is cross-collaborating in a way that can drive that meaningful and effective change in women's health. And that's where Kate and I really want to be different with FemInnovation. We prize ourselves on partnerships and collaboration and building a safe environment in which clinicians, investors, founders, patient advocates, health equity consultants, anybody can come and really work together to have that cross-disciplinary approach to improving women's healthcare. So we look at ourselves as being a one-stop shop as we continue to grow, and we want to have a very diverse ecosystem that all of our founders and clinicians and everybody who's a part of this community can access at their fingertips. Next slide. So what can you get if you come onto our platform? So our FemInnovator community has something for everybody, all of those different groups that I just mentioned. One of the things that sets us apart too is our in-depth knowledge library. So we actually have consulted experts and had them create guides for founders and clinicians that really help them to understand how to build companies from the ground up. What are the resources that you need? You know, for instance, let's say that you want to form your company. Do you know exactly what type of entity you need to form? Do you know about virtual addresses and registered agents and foreign qualification? Those are all different guides that have been created by experts, and we're able to go ahead and offer those, those step-by-step guides to help educate our founders on it, along with videos and other types of digital courses, so that you get the information you need without having to go and spend a ton of money with a professional to get that same type of education. Similarly, we have health equity consultants. I'm going to pause on that and let Kate take that away in a moment because we do have some special videos on that. So stay tuned. Expertly created document templates. So as I mentioned, by background, I am an attorney. And so I have worked to put together different types of templates and contract documents that you can access as founders or clinicians in order to be able to kind of jumpstart your business and know that you have a document template that is ready to go and that is drafted with founders in mind. A lot of times we see founders getting resources and documents from the internet or from other companies. The problem with that is that those have often been post negotiations, meaning the terms in there might not be as favorable to you as they should be. And you may not understand exactly what that language means and how that can add risk. So we have expertly created document templates that take all of that uncertainty out and give you something that you know will be able to be held up in legal court. We have professional services directory where we list some reputable vendors that we know across different verticals. That's one of the things we get asked about a lot is I'm looking for XYZ. Where can I find somebody reputable who's not going to charge me an arm and a leg? We have those lists that we make available. Healthcare partnership opportunities, Kate and I are very committed to bringing femtech out into the world. And so what that means is we are starting to build partnerships with larger healthcare organizations, clinics, et cetera, that will allow us to say, great, we have 5 different clinics that are looking for fertility products. We have 20 fertility products on our platform. Let's get together. Let's find a way to pitch them. We'll facilitate those pitching opportunities and help you to get those partnerships that you need. Hopefully it's, a pilot program, maybe it's a longer term contract, and help facilitate that matchmaking process. Similarly, clinical connections. So we are committed again to making that gap between tech founders and clinicians disappear. One of the ways we do this is by connecting clinicians to founders who might be looking for medical advice, or the medical expertise and point of view in building their products. Maybe you want a clinician to be on your advisory board or to act as a CMO. That can be hard to know where to go to find clinicians. We have an entire pool of them that we're hoping to have on our platform, some of whom will actually be trained through our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate program, and Kate will talk more about that. Similarly, there's advisor and C-suite opportunities, and then investment insights. So we have an investor circle where we're asking investors, whether they're angels or VCs, to come reverse pitch to founders to help you get to know what each investor is looking for, what their pet peeves are, how do I pitch them, what stage do I need to be in. We're trying to bring all of those resources together for a funnel for you to have as you're building your investment strategies. And there's a lot more, but those are the key ones I wanted to highlight. And Kate, I will go ahead and turn that over to you.
Thank you. So I am incredibly happy that I want to introduce to you our health equity consultants. You've heard us say it over and over again, but health equity is incredibly important to us at FemInnovation. And it is something, health equity does not happen by accident. If we leave it to chance, we've seen over and over again that more often implicit bias and racism happen when we're not paying attention. So our health equity consultants are joining us on our platform. We have 2 joining us. They are fantastic, both of them, and they are also very different in personality and background and expertise. And we are just so thrilled about that because it adds to more and more different perspectives, which only helps us. So our health equity consultants are Hannah George and Zay Bell, and they have actually made their own videos. So I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves. This is Hannah. She is fantastic, and here's her introduction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah George, and I'm a health equity consultant for FemInnovation. A little bit about myself. I am a healthcare professional with a not-so-secret mission to make health care fairer and more accessible for everyone. As a nurse and a health equity advocate, I've dedicated my career and a lot of my work around breaking down the biases that exist and leveling the healthcare playing field. My journey is all about making healthcare equitable and making sure that those efforts are very impactful. I thrive on dismantling the barriers and addressing cultural biases and advocating for those who need it the most. What do I love most about being a health equity advocate, you ask? It's an opportunity to really create change that is not only impactful, but that is lasting. Change that could really make a difference in how our patients receive care and their outcomes. Now, I've teamed up with FemInnovation, a company that shares my vision. Together, we're on a mission to ensure that women's healthcare technology is not just innovative, but it's also inclusive. Let's make healthcare more equitable, and let's do it and do it well. Come, I invite you to join us as we embark on this exciting journey to not only make healthcare accessible, but equitable for all. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
So that is our first health equity consultant, Hannah. And now we're going to hear from our second. Oops, sorry. This is Zay.
Hello, my name is Zay Bell, and I am a health equity consultant for FemInnovation. I wish that I could say that my career started in healthcare, but that is certainly not my story. My zeal and my passion for equitable healthcare started in 2018 after I was given the task to watch my son die. From that day to this day, I have worked closely and diligently with healthcare organizations, with community members, municipalities, with nationally known nonprofits and grassroots organizations to identify and address health inequities in maternal health. In addition to advocating for equitable healthcare, I also provide customized trainings to healthcare professionals on cultural competency and sensitivity. I'm committed to creating a just, inclusive, and accessible healthcare system. My question to you is, when do we start?
So again, so thankful that they've both chosen to join us. We'll go over a little bit more about health equity consultants when we show you our platform shortly. But essentially what you'll have is free access to a consult with them. And our purpose really is to be sure that founders are building them into their budgets and contracts moving forward, because you can learn a lot about what they can do in a half hour, but to truly have an impact in your organization and make sure that we are promoting health equity, it's going to take bringing them on board. So we are so thankful for them and hope that everyone uses them. Sorry. Okay. Next, I'd like to talk about building partnerships in healthcare and beyond. So these are kind of the three things that we have up and coming. Bethany mentioned partnering with healthcare organizations. So at this point, we know that femtech companies need to work with brick and mortar healthcare systems. It's incredibly important for both, for the femtech companies and for the brick and mortar healthcare systems. Most founders want to do this, but they have trouble finding the right partners and getting the right meetings. For FemInnovation, we know that healthcare organizations often want to implement change, but simply don't have the time to investigate and to arrange meetings. So that's where we come in. We can match femtech founders with available industry partnership opportunities, and it's something we love doing. Next is our investor circle, with which Bethany had also touched on. This is a really challenging investment landscape, and so we are committed to making it as easy as possible for startups and investors to interact and to form foundational partnerships that can pave the way to VC funding. With our investor circle, you can easily identify the investors that will be a good fit for your company and go from there. And then lastly, incorporating the clinician voice. This is incredibly important. It's something Bethany and I have been passionate about since the beginning. Oftentimes, founders are unsure how to find clinicians and scientists to serve on their advisory boards. And then by the flip side, clinicians don't know how to get involved. And so with FemInnovation and with our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate, we're really looking to fix that.
So what do you get with a membership? With a membership, you get access to our FemInnovator community, and that gives you access to all of our webinars and seminars, lunch and learns, et cetera, that we're going to be hosting. Some of the topics that we've already got in the works include getting board jobs, paying board jobs for femtech founders and clinicians who want to be on boards. We have one that's going to be coming up on femtech and AI, and really generative AI. How do you use that data? How do you use or incorporate AI? What should you be thinking about when you do so? We have one coming up really on talking about health equity and how we can make that a more global aspiration beyond just the United States. And we've also got some that are upcoming on the legal space to give you legal updates. So as soon as we get finalized dates for those will all be available, and your membership entitles you to free registration to all of our events. Similarly, our book club, which is a bit different than other book clubs out there. Yes, we do some women's health and racial bias readings as well, which you might get with other companies. But what we also do is practical reading. So for instance, our first book for the book club is Technically Wrong, which has been a huge favorite of mine for the last several years. And what that does is it talks about the implicit bias that we get in design production and how that can really unintentionally other certain categories of the population that you're actually trying to reach. So we alternate between a practical book that can help you with the practical aspects of your business, and then the more broader women's health books as well. As Kate mentioned, you'll get free 30-minute consultation with our health equity experts, access to all of our health equity resources. You'll have access to that fundraising space, investor insights, and then we also do that strategic partnership and matchmaking assistance. And we'll show this when we demo the platform as well, but we do have spaces on there where you can write, I'm looking for XYZ partnership. I need to find XYZ founder. Who can help me? And that's where Kate and I will jump in and we'll start to make those connections for you. Or if it's a connection we don't have, we'll start to go out and build those connections in order to facilitate that process with you. So that entire strategic partnership matchmaking is included in the membership as well. And I have seen some questions in the chat that I did want to answer real quick regarding shoulders to cry on. So yes, we actually do have a space called Brags and Drags, where if somebody's having, somebody wants to celebrate an accomplishment they have, somebody's having a terrible day or a terrible experience, especially as a founder, and you want to know how others have handled this, we have a safe space that's dedicated to that. No judgment. We do want to hear about your pain points and your problems. And then if it's something that we think the broader community can work with, we might turn that into a lunch and learn, right? And get together and actually workshop some of those problems together. So that's where we draw a lot of our inspiration. And we want to make this for you. We want to cover topics that you want to see. So Kate and I are always wanting your feedback on that. And we also have a space there where you can tell us what you want to see, where you can say, hey, I need this resource. And we can say, wonderful, we're going to go build that for you. So that's really what you get here. The other question I saw in the chat was, this is really cool in the US, Bethany, but I am an international femtech company. How can I make use of your platform? So fantastic question. Right now, the strategic resources that we have in terms of company formation, right, legal, that type of thing, is focused on the US. That's not our intention to remain just US focused. We are actively seeking partnerships across the globe to help build out that resource base so that this can be a global platform. And something else that we are offering specifically with respect to international founders is a space that's dedicated to you for bringing your company into the US, because your go-to-market strategy in the US is oftentimes going to be extremely different from your strategy for building and growth in your local environment. And so we can provide those resources and help walk you through that entry. So if you are an international company, please stay tuned. Please let us know who we should be talking to and working with so that we can get those partnerships in place and can get you on the platform that get you the resources that you need a lot faster.
Okay, with that, we would love to hear what of everything you've heard you are most excited about. So you should see the poll up. We would love to hear it. It'll help us know kind of where to place our efforts in this platform, because you'll hear us say it over and over again, but it's for you.
Great. And Kate, while they're completing that, if we go to the next slide, we can kind of talk about the platform pricing. So our platform pricing, we want to keep this as low as possible for founders. Kate and I revised our pricing strategy several times as we learned and, we're part of the fact that fundraising wasn't great for a lot of companies last year. So we've switched to a monthly model, $99 a month, cancel anytime. And then you have the option to do add-on spaces, meaning we didn't want to create a membership that was all inclusive and all encompassing at this stage, because a lot of founders are on different pathways along their journey and they don't need access to all of the resources that would inadvertently drive up the pricing. So for instance, let's say you're forming your company, you need help trying to form a Delaware C corporation. What you can do is you can say, great, I want to get this business formation add-on space that has all of my document bundles on it that literally will give me all the documents I need to form my company, give me the expert resources and guides. And that way you can add on that space when you need it. It's a one-time fee for an annual subscription to that space. You get access to any new resources and document templates we put into that space for no extra charge. And then let's say the next year you're like, yeah, I formed my company, I don't need that. We can take that off your membership. So that way you're able to only buy what you need when you need it. And so you'll start to see more and more of those add-on spaces pop up with different pricing, and that we hope will make it more accessible for everyone. And for those who are here at the launch, we are doing a special coupon code. So we do have 50% off for your first 2 months, because we know, right, we're launching this, we're excited about it, but at the same time, we're sure there's going to be glitches, right? And we want to make sure that we're tailoring content to you. And so we do have 50% off your first 2 months. I will put the code in the chat while I turn this back over to Kate. And so we hope you'll join us there. Kate, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, now we'll go through our additional programs, and then we just have a couple slides left, and then we'll actually get to showing you the platform. So stick around. We're really excited to show you what it'll look like when you sign up.
Oh, back to me. Awesome. So Kate, I'll let you put the code in the chat then while I continue to drive forward. So the other thing that we offer, this is separate from our FemInnovator platform, is our FemInnovator strategy program. So let's say that you're a startup company and you want more one-on-one assistance, right? The guides are great, right? The document bundles are great, but maybe you have more questions, more things that you want to see specific to your company. We offer a 5-week one-on-one strategy program with you that will get your legal strategy, your business strategy, and your partnership strategies formed and updated. So we work one-on-one with you to strengthen your position in the market going into it for about 5 weeks. So that's one of our programs that we offer. Next slide, Kate. Yep. The other thing that we have as well is the Patient Advocacy Council. So for femtech companies and for founders in general, right, we know that there's a huge importance of testing your product in the market and finding that perfect product market fit before you launch. What we have seen, unfortunately, is that a lot of founders don't do that. And I just had a call today where somebody else had said, I really wish founders would invest that money in doing that product market fit at the early stage before they go and they do their websites and they make all of this great content and then realize that their product doesn't fit the needs of the individuals they're trying to serve. So Kate and I want to make that process as seamless as possible for founders. We have a patient advocacy council. It is completely free to join. And what happens is founders can come to us and say, I want to do a patient roundtable with 10 patients or 20 patients. And we will get that together. We will facilitate the process, the meeting. The patient advocates get paid for bringing their insights here. And that way we can facilitate some of that product market fit testing. So please sign up as well. Anybody is welcome to be part of that community.
Okay, now we're going to transition into talking about our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate. So this has been part of Bethany and I's brainchild since we started meeting. Again, what I've seen is clinicians wanting to get involved in FemTech, but it's also a little bit scary. As most clinicians, when you walk into a room, you're kind of used to knowing what's going on, maybe being the one who knows the most about what's going on. And then that is flipped on its head when you go into a new space like a startup company. And so our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate is really meant to bridge that gap from being a practicing clinician to getting involved in FemTech. There is a lot that goes into this 8-week course. It is, and we'll go through that a little bit more at the next one. The important part to know is that we are real close to starting. So our first cohort starts January 22nd. Usually this course is $3,000, but as Bethany said, this is also the guinea pig bunch. And so just like you're our guinea pigs on our platform, this will be the guinea pig FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate. So for our first cohort, it's special pricing of $1,000. And if you look on our platform, we'll show you, but there actually is a payment plan available as well. So there are spaces still available, but definitely join so that we can get you all caught up because it starts next week. So what is covered? We cover a lot. So it starts out explaining kind of the basics of the femtech industry. We go into what's going on in femtech right now, funding opportunities, ethical challenges, and then we teach you about the startup lifecycle and pitfalls. For most clinicians, that is completely new information and information that you really need to be able to collaborate well with founders. Next, we'll go over opportunities for clinician involvement in femtech. We'll talk about how you can negotiate and talk about what your compensation should be, because again, that's going to look different than most clinicians have ever negotiated. Bethany will help us navigate artificial intelligence, because that is a whole new realm. We will talk more about racism and implicit bias in medicine and technology, how that really happens when we're not paying attention and the importance of paying attention. We'll go over legal obligations for advisors and medical officers in femtech startups, go over some of the legalities of telehealth. And then at the end, we'll go over femtech data, our clinical accuracy problem, and then educating patients about femtech solutions. Oops. Through all of this, you will also have 2 meetings with myself, 1 meeting with Bethany, 2 meetings with founders, so that at the end of it, you have your elevator pitch ready and you have your profile ready for our platform so that you can start getting jobs. As we mentioned, our first cohort is January 22nd. We have 2 cohorts timed after that. And then if there's a residency program or a practice that would like to do an in-person training for a larger group, we can do that. And you can just get in touch with us to talk about the logistics of a 1-day or a 2-day course. So this is something we are so excited about. If you complete this certificate, you'll have a separate badge on our platform so that founders can see like, okay, this clinician will really know what's going on when I bring them on my team. And with that, I think there's our coupon code that's in the chat as well.
Yes. So Kate, can you go back to the coupon code?
Yes.
Yep. So just for those for audio, it is FEM launch 2024. And that offer is valid until January 31st, 2024. So please sign up before then to make sure that you make use of it. We've included the sign up link to our community there, but we will also follow up for anyone who has been on this recording or who signed up to receive this recording. We will follow up and make sure you have the code by email as well. All right, so Kate, I think we're moving into platform demo.
Okay.
Great. All right, so kicking it off, so we have used Circle as our platform. We are really excited to welcome everyone here. It should be, fingers crossed, a very seamless onboarding experience. For those who want to check out more about us before joining, you can still go to that link and get access to this welcome to our FemInnovator community space. It talks a lot about what we offer, a lot about our different pricing models. For instance, for founders and clinicians, as we mentioned, it's $99 a month. But if you're an investor, we offer you free membership because we want to get founders in front of you. We think that's a huge value add. So please, if you're an investor, whether it's an angel investor or a VC investor, reach out to us and we'll give you a coupon code for free membership. We also talk about the different add-on resources here in case you need a refresher. So right now, the ones that we have legal considerations and marketing. So we have some influencer and social media document kits. Similarly, if you need a content developing or content licensing agreement, those are available. And then similarly, our business formation guides, videos, and document templates as well. And we will have a lot more of those spaces coming in the near future. So this is just a place you can go for a quick recap. We have our start here space, right? So whenever you come, this is a great place to start. It welcomes you to our community. It tells you about our expectations, the matchmaking services that we offer, some of our upcoming opportunities. For instance, starting hopefully in March or April, we will be offering mock pitch opportunities for founders to get their ideas in front of experts and potential investors in a non-threatening environment where you have the opportunity to incorporate feedback, unlike you would in a traditional pitch. And so this talks a little bit more about what we add. Additionally, we talk with community guidelines here you can look at, and also we have a space here for maximizing your membership because we want you to make the most of this. We want this to be a resource for you. Kate likes to say it's not another social media channel. What it is a community where you can come for problem solving and partnerships. So if you have a problem, you need something, you want to work through something, this is the community that we can help you with. So we talk about the different ways in which you can go through, maximize your membership, the different things again that we offer. And then we have a say hello space where we'd love for everyone to introduce themselves. We'll also be posting our new members on our, our Instagram and our LinkedIn accounts as well. And you can see Kate and I have already gone ahead and introduced ourselves, and we would love to see you there. Additionally, we have our Meet Our Partners space. So for those who do partner with us, we love to include information about you here. Again, you can see our sponsor with them here, and you can find out more about the other companies that are interested in women's health and are doing sponsorships. Announcements is a great space to come to really see what is upcoming. We'll announce any big events that we have, anything that's come to light through the community, webinars, seminars, all of that great information. So make sure that you're checking our announcement space. And then Kate, I'll let you do book club.
Okay, I'm gonna back up just 1 minute, Bethany. Do you mind clicking on your profile picture?
Yes, absolutely.
On the upper right, sorry.
Oh, way up here?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then view profile. So when you all join, you'll have the chance to make your own profile. And so if we can scroll down a little bit, Bethany, these are the questions that you'll be asked. And so if you're comfortable sharing all of these things in your profile, great. And then you can close that. That profile will automatically pop up in our members section under that FemInnovator community. And so when you fill out that profile, that's what everyone will automatically be able to see in this member space so that you can start collaborating with everyone who joins. And then as Bethany said, once you've done that, you can go to the say hello section and introduce yourself there. In terms of our book club, Bethany and I are both readers. And so as soon as we saw the opportunity to do a book club, we were very excited. Bethany kind of went over that we'll be alternating between kind of more practical books, and then books focused on women's health. And so this first book is Technically Wrong. We have been looking at how people do book clubs, and there are a lot of different ways to do a book club. So one of the things we have here is just a brief survey here. We would love to hear what you think about how it should be done. We've knocked around all kinds of ideas, doing a separate video, doing it on the podcast, doing it as a live interactive Zoom meeting, or just having a discussion board. But we're really open to anything that makes this useful. We are passionate about reading good books and really having good discussions. It's just a matter of how you all want to do that.
Great. In our event calendar and registration, we include both internal and external events here. So anything that you should be aware of in the women's health space, we will have an event calendar noted for it. So you can come here as kind of your one-stop shop for looking for women's health or, clinical education, right? That type of thing related to women's health. We hope to keep this as updated as possible. And if there's an event you know about that you think would be beneficial to the community, please let us know and we can definitely add that. And then here, this is where Kate and I were talking about before, a place where you can come and say what you're looking for, what your challenges are. We have discussion forums on pain points and challenges. So we want to hear, what are you troubleshooting right now? What barrier have you encountered? And what Kate and I will do, as I mentioned before, we'll chime in here, our community can chime in here, and we'll also take some of these topics and do lunch and learns and workshop these together so that we can get actionable problem solving solutions for the things that you are encountering on a daily basis. Partnerships and assistance similarly, right? Tell us what you're looking for. What partnerships do you need? What do you want to see happen in terms of collaboration with outside organizations? This will help us be able to start that matchmaking and partnership process for you. Here's that news, brags, and drag space, right? So this is a non-judgmental environment. This is a space where you're just having a hard day. You want to celebrate something. Tell us about it. We want to celebrate with you. We want to, be there, be that shoulder to cry on. We all have those moments, and social media is not a great place to realize that everybody is a human and everybody has those moments as well. And then what you want to see. As I mentioned, and as Kate mentioned, right, feedback is crucial to making this platform a success because we want to build what you need. So tell us here, tell us what resources you need, what document bundles you need, what you need from us, and we can take that back and build those resources. And these are some of the resources. I know we're going to be a little short on time, and so I don't want to walk through everything, but this is our resource space where we post resources on everything that you can imagine, right? So for those who are brand new to FemTech, this FemTech 101 space is a great place to start. We have a fantastic quote by Ida Tin, who I know was here earlier. So she's the mother of FemTech, and for anyone who doesn't know her, great person to follow. So we've got FemTech resources, recommended reading, a reputable vendor list, different podcasts if you want to listen to those, resources if you're, for instance, a founder or a clinician who wants to get your voice out there more, how you can get booked on podcasts, what speaking resources and opportunities there might be, and we'll continue to build out this space over time as well. Kate, I'll turn it over to you for health equity again.
Thank you. So in our health equity resources, we talk about a little bit about the importance of health equity. From my experience meeting with a lot of founders and clinicians, I think at this point, most people want to encourage health equity. It just gets lost in where do you go from mission, vision, and values to implementation. And so in my mind, that's really where health equity consultants can come in. Bethany, can you click on that when to use health equity consultants? So this is in talking with Hannah and Zay, where we really think that this is the most useful. One, when you're getting started, I mentioned kind of transitioning from having health equity in your mission, vision, and values to how do you make that actually work as you're starting your company. So as you're launching, they're wonderful. Another time is that we see a lot of founders who have to start in a self-pay population or in people they know, anything like that, where you're starting with one certain population. Then things go well and you get a grant or you get a contract with insurance. Something happens where all of a sudden your product is going to go from one population to a very different population. And anytime you're switching populations, a health equity consultant is going to be very, very helpful in making sure that your product has everything it needs to go well in that new area. And then lastly, this is what Zay had mentioned, which I think is incredibly helpful and taught me already is when you're removing a product or a service from a community. She had mentioned that sometimes when you pull out of a community, if you don't do that well, you shatter any trust and you're never going to gain it back. And I can vouch that I have seen organizations lose trust, and it is so hard to gain back. And so health equity consultants can make sure that as you're going through the life cycle of your startup, you really keep your good reputation and do good for all patients. The next tab, Bethany, on that health equity consultants. This is where our health equity consultants will be listed. I am not a health equity consultant. That's just there because it had to have somebody there. So Zay and Hannah will be there. And then health equity Q&A there. This is where we can ask questions that are really not meant to be specific to you exactly, but questions that you think other people may learn from as well. I do want to be really careful. Our health equity consultants are not paid by us. They are offering free services for consultations, but really our goal is for them to get paid opportunities as they are experts. Unfortunately, part of health disparities is that we see health equity consultants sometimes being used without being paid. And so we will be protecting them and making sure that as they provide services, they should be paid. So this is a source to go ahead and ask them some general questions, get to know them, again, with the goal that we will ultimately engage in paid contracts with them. And then we have our clinician resources. So these clinician resources, we are very, very excited to welcome all clinicians. This is our welcome page. Then if you can scroll down, it has a little bit about why we want you involved in FemTech, the importance of you being involved in FemTech, a little bit about using our community and the benefits of being a clinician in FemTech. I cannot overstate the benefits of being a clinician in FemTech. I love it. I think these are amazing people. I think it is truly one of the best cures for burnout that I've found, because you really feel like you're making a difference and on the forefront of what's happening. So there's more for you to read there. On the left-hand side, clinicians will show you just the clinician membership, problem solvers. This is really meant to be a space where you can ask questions of other clinicians. So this space is one of the only spaces that we have restricted to only clinicians. The purpose of this is that as you're negotiating with founders, with investors, with anyone, you may have questions that you're like a little bit embarrassed to put out to the whole community. And that's okay. There's a safe space for that. And so if you're a clinician and you're just not sure what the right answer is and need some more clinicians to bounce ideas off, this is your space. Clinician events, we don't have anything in that tab right now, but we will be putting more clinician events there. Clinician resources has great websites and different organizations that you can hook up with to learn more. And then our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate. This is our kind of landing page that tells you all about the certificate program. I know some people in the chat were like, this is a lot of information. Where can I read this again? This is one of the places you'll be able to read this again about what all goes into our FemTech Medical Consultant Certificate. And then that FMCC Cohort 1, that's where you can actually go ahead and enroll. So enrollment is open. Our course starts January 22nd, and we would love to have you all in it.
Absolutely. And then for founders, that clinician space isn't super exciting to you. I get that. So we have the more exciting fundraising and investment space here. So here is where you can find some fundraising guides. These have been created by experts. So for instance, can you use Finders to raise capital? What if you're thinking about crowdfunding, equity fundraising, friends and family fundraising? What do you need to think about? You're able to click on this. It tells you what's covered in the guide, and then you have access to the guide right here. Each guide has a disclaimer page, of course, because I am a lawyer. So we do have that, an introduction about what will be covered. And then it dives into the exact topics that we talked about. So for instance, this is our crowdfunding one, talks about, the benefits of crowdfunding, the disadvantages, the different types of crowdfunding, what that means. It goes into more specifics, right? Debt-based crowdfunding. You get the hint. So these guides within the fundraising space are available to everyone as part of your membership. And we'll be continuing to add guides here. What you see is just our launching starting point, and we will be adding resources here every single week. So this is something that I think a lot of founders will find useful. Fundraising resources, right? We're adding any types of resources, vendors, et cetera, that can be helpful in your fundraising strategy and in building out your investment strategy and pitching and all of that type of thing. You'll be able to find those resources here. We also keep a list of available fundraising opportunities. So these are some that we've already added to the site, and you're able to search up here by deadlines. So we have some January, February, and March deadlines. That way, instead of running through the whole list, you're able to quickly find what you need on fundraising opportunities. This will include a combo of grants, investment opportunities, pitch competitions, those types of things will all be here. We'll be starting our Pitch Perfect series, as I mentioned. It hasn't started yet, but this will be where several founders can take part each month in a mock pitch with experts, including investors, and get that feedback and actionable feedback that they're able to then go ahead and implement before they actually pitch for the real thing. And then we have our fundraising discussion forum, right? So any questions you have on fundraising, ask them here. Kate and I will answer them as best we can. Our community will answer them. And then if there's things we can't answer or common questions we're seeing, we'll do webinars and seminars and bring in other experts to make sure you get the answers you need. And then down here are some of the other add-on spaces that you can get depending on your specific needs. For instance, this one is our Delaware Corporate Compliance Kit. So if you're new, you want to start a Delaware company, this would give you your bylaws, your action by sole incorporator, your certificate for incorporation, your board meeting minutes, right? Your unanimous written consent, all the things that you need to start your company. You can access and purchase, right, this document bundle on its own. You can access these guides and videos related to corporate formation and starting your corporate entity on its own, or you can buy access to the entire space, which has a bit of a discount to it. And so we do the same thing, right, for Founder Essentials, which really focuses on co-founder relationships, splitting equity amongst founders and early stage employees. Similarly, we'll have legal and regulatory here, so you can get access to the most up-to-date legal advice, and then data privacy, security, and marketing and social media branding, right? So you can get the social media and influencer kit, right, if you're ready to contract with those individuals, or content development, licensing, media releases for patients and non-patients, including the HIPAA authorization. So these are things that you can add on to your membership depending on where you are in your stage. And we're going to be creating, as I mentioned before, a ton more resources. We're super excited about it. And I know we've got about 5 minutes late. So Kate, I'm going to turn it back over to you to wrap us up.
Okay, thank you. And Bethany, perfect. Okay, so I just put the link to our platform as well as the coupon that we talked about in our chat. So the coupon will be good until the end of this month. We're trying to keep it off social media really because we appreciate you all coming to this launch. And so that's your reward for coming to the launch. If you want to share it one-to-one, that's fine, but we would like it off of social media. That said, we are going to wrap up. We appreciate you all being here. Bethany and I have loved getting to meet with so many people here one-to-one. We want to keep doing that. This is really all about collaboration. Our goal is to bring people together to make better products, which will ultimately be good for all of our patients. Please reach out to us with any suggestions or ideas. Bethany and I are pretty open to almost anything, so we would love to collaborate with everyone. And again, are very, very open to meeting and hearing what you think. This is built for you, and so truly your feedback is the best possible gift. If you see something that's not useful, tell us. If you see something that would be useful, let us know and we'll work on it. Thank you for your time, and we truly hope that you all will join us in our platform. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Kate and I'll just hang on for a minute. If there's any questions in the chat, we're happy to answer them. But if not, have a great day, and we hope to see you on the platform.